phone call. So,
you know, several times throughout the years, and you know, you've been there 10 years, and here at FetcherNews.com, we've had the opportunity to follow the school system we're going into our 7th year, and I think sometimes when you call me to discuss something, you have said in the past, you said, you know, I was just sitting here minding my own
business. I was. When I got a call.
Yeah, and I got a phone call.
So.
Anything else come to mind in the last 10 years?
Last 10 years, there's been so much, and it just kind of runs together with me. The bad incident was the one that stands out. What
are some of the things now? You know, when you're superintendent of schools, I'll say my words. There's times when the job requires balancing acts.
Yes, it does.
And you have administrators, you have the teachers, you have the Board of Education that you answer to, and then you have the student body. So there's a lot of balancing acts.
There is.
How is it as a superintendent of schools in today's climate to work with a Board of Education? We're not talking about it in a negative way, but how is it working with Board of Education?
We've got a wonderful Board of Education. A solid Board of Education is the foundation of the school system, and I can't say enough good things about our board. They have no agendas. Their constituents are the kids, and you can tell it when you come to a meeting with them. They're wonderful.
You know, and how are things changed as far as requirements? Now, outside looking in, we always say Atlanta requires this now and requires this. And I have heard from several superintendents that I've spoke to that there's a lot of pressure these days to comply, make sure everything's in place, make sure everything that Atlanta's requesting is done properly. How much of that is the job now?
That's pretty much the whole job, is making sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's, because we are controlled by money, and that's how they control school systems nowadays.
So the funding is a big part of it, and you know, there's so many times I go to a Board of Education meeting and there's a good chunk of the meeting that's being taken up by compliance in this and compliance in that.
Most of the people in the county office, that's what their job is compliance with one area or another of state or federal requirements.
Well, and I'm glad we're talking about this. I know we're talking about your retirement, but I'm glad we're talking about this because some people see what they call a lot of people on the top administrative end. And I've been asked out there, do they really need this person in there? Do they really need this person? And I say, if you'll take a minute and you'll go find out, this person is spending all day complying with this. This person is spending all day making sure teachers turn this into the administrators do this, and it gets to Atlanta or whatever. Am I correct?
You're very correct. We don't find compliance fun. It's something that we have to do, and we have to have the people to do it in order to get the funds down, make sure we get them to the kids.
So I hear that. What are like some of the things that you have been able to put in place? Like when you came in as superintendent of schools, everybody comes in, and I'll call it an administration for the last 10 years. What are some of the things that you, Mark Henson, have put in place that you strive to do, and that you leave this system knowing you did this or worked with others to put it in place?
I was going to say, it wasn't me.
No, I understand. That's why I would say work with others, because you got a very good staff.
I do. Excuse me. SACS has been Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. We've had great success at that. We've converted to a charter system that's STEM driven. That's what I'm very proud of, and community involvement. What about
some of the facilities? I mean, let's talk about some of the physical facilities, how ESPLOST has been used, because you and I have had these conversations, and I'm going to step out and say, you have always made sure that you were very aware to be a good steward of the taxpayers' money. And that's my opinion of what outside looking in the Fannin County School system. And so what are some of the projects you have done over the 10 years that as you leave this building or this facility or this program's in place, what are some of the things that have happened in the last 10 years?
Oh my goodness, we've upgraded our buildings, our technology. We've saved about $1 million, which is $1.3 million by using ESPLOST each year. You know, our biggest project right now is going to be our ag barn, and it's not a barn, it's an ag facility. It's going to be wonderful. ESPLOST is great. You know, it passed by 81.26%. And I think that says that we're using that money correctly when we can get margins that big on a referendum.
Tell us a little bit about the ag facility that's coming up. How's that going? And tell us a little bit about what we're going to see here, because you'll be like the pastor that built the church, and then you know what I mean.
Left it to somebody else.
Yeah. So they're gonna bring you back for the ribbon cutting and everything.
No, they might not. Who knows?
No. We got to put Dr. Gwatney. No, we're going to talk about Dr. Gwatney in just a minute. The next phase of Fannin County Schools as far as superintendent, but. What can we expect with this ag facility? And I like the way you put that. Some people say, well, they're just out there building a barn. No, they're not.
No, it's not. It's going to be a lab, a classroom. It's going to have a show arena. It's going to be something that's going to be used by the whole community, just like our Performing Arts Center. It's going to be state of the art as far as connectivity, those types of things. We think it will be something that will bring people into Fannin County.
Why is it time to retire?
I'm so far removed from the classroom and how modern classrooms operate nowadays.
Modern classrooms, and you're so far removed, and it's just time to let the modern classroom take off. And
now, people don't understand. They think it's like it was when they were in school, and it's not. You know, I wear khaki pants because I used to get chalk rings from working at a chalkboard. We don't have chalkboards anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a great conversation. A young lady, an intern, a high school student, great kid, and working with this young person to write a sports story. So I said, meet me at the ball game, and we'll work the first game together, and I'll show you how to write this sports story. We'll work on it and everything like that. So we get there, and I've got this, and as you can see, I have OCD. I have 3 sharpened pencils and more in the bag, because in case you got, the lead breaks, I got my pad, and I'm ready to go. And this young person, which is doing a great job, shows up, and I said, with a camera, I said, "You going to take notes?" She said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." I get, and she was taking the notes as fast on here as anything. You know what I mean? Is that the kind of things you're talking about?
That's the kind of things I'm talking about. My daughter's a junior in high school, and it's amazing the opportunities she has as far as connectivity and being able to move on when ready and those types of things. And she's a whiz at technology. It's just changed, Brian.
You know, so there's no chalkboards anymore?
There's no chalkboards.
Wow.
In fact, our boards are interactive. We can pull the internet up and all sorts of things.
Then how do you discipline kids then if there's no chalkboard? If you don't make them erase or go outside and I mean, how do you get to go outside, clean the erasers and everything? Wow, I guess it would leave me behind too.
That would me too. Huh? Yeah, I think so.
Teacher's pet got to go outside early and clap the erasers.
I know.
Right?
I know. I guess now they get free internet time or something. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. I want to talk about fiscal, because from students to the administration to the state and how you get money to operate in the ESPLOST. You inherited, when you came in, a couple bonds, but since being superintendent of schools, you've not purchased any bonds.
No, we don't have a penny of debt. When you purchase bonds on a ESPLOST of our size, that's $1.8 million you're taking away from instruction to pay back interest. Plus, if you run into a recession at the end of that, that's a scary time. You'll lose sleep. So I just think it's just better not to do it.
The voters approve a mechanism to purchase the bonds that you can use when necessary in the referendum.
That's correct.
But you, since you've been in, you pay as you go.
That's what we do.
Build project. So this agriculture facility is being paid as you go.
It will be paid as we go. We will not bond it. We will have no debt.
What is in the future for you? What do you got planned?
First, I'm going to take my daughter on some trips. I've neglected her through the years. I'm going to just hang out with friends, and we'll just see what happens from there on. Dr.
Gwatney, and we're dear friends with Dr. Gwatney. We couldn't be happier. How comfortable is it for you to invest your 30 years in the last 10 as superintendent, knowing you're leaving and Dr. Gwatney's going to take that seat?
First person I worked for as a parapro was Dr. Watney's mother. I've known him for a long time. He was a little boy when I got to know him. I feel very comfortable. He's been raised in the system. His mother's an educator, a wonderful educator. He is too. And it's going to be fine. He'll do a good job.
You know when I knew it was time for you to retire?
How's that?
I got in a Jeep with you one day and the radio had 80s music on it. And I was like, this old boy's got to retire, man. I don't know what happened, but.
I'm going to blame that on my wife, Brian. And she's retiring, so the theory holds with her.
Well, look, we wish you
yes,
well.
Sir.
And we're going to miss you. And we're happy that we have Dr. Watney here at the Fannin County School System that will be going forward with the administration, but we're going to miss you and we appreciate it. And I want to say for FetcherNews.com and anybody listening out there, transparency is very important. On my side of the table and my side of the coin of getting information as FetcherNews.com to citizens and letting them know what's going on, I want to thank you because you have been a great communicator with the media, especially ourselves, and you've always been open to work with us to get information to the citizens, regardless on whether you were just sitting there one day, mind your own business, not bothering anybody and the phone rang.
That's right, that's right. I appreciate y'all too, Brian. You've been good to the school system, and I know you'll continue to be good to the school system. And here's what I will say. The thing I'm going to miss the most is the people that I've worked with over the years, teachers, media, and just the general public and community. I'm going to miss them. Well,
we appreciate you. Folks, if you would like to share this interview with Mr. Mark Henson, Superintendent of Schools, this will be on our Facebook page and it will be on our YouTube channel later today. We'll clip this and put it out. We want to wish him well in his future endeavors, but we look forward to also getting an opportunity here soon to talk to Dr. Watney, the new Superintendent of Schools. We're going to take a brief break. We're at Blue Jeans Pizza in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Take a brief break and then it'll be time to Ask the Doc with Dr. Whaley, thanks to the Georgia Cancer Specialist. Sam, take us to commercial.